Welcome back, everybody, to Warriors of the Rainbow Spiritual Guidance YouTube channel. As always, my name is Jason, and I will be your guide. So, first of all, I apologize if you can barely hear me. All of a sudden, there's all these cars when there was like no cars, and all of a sudden, there's cars everywhere. So, I apologize, but I have to. I feel led to share this message. So if you've been paying attention or watching the video, the last tarot readings, 2 tarot readings I've done, you already know some of what I'm going to say. But this is more for those that aren't watching those readings, okay? So, in ancient scriptures, you hear about Atlantis and you hear about Lumeria. You also hear about the 2 rivers in the Bible, and they are representations of the same thing. The subconscious and the conscious, or the feminine and the masculine principles, or the feminine and masculine aspects of man. Okay? So, Atlantis is a representation of the intellectual mind, the builder, the writer, uses the intellect, creates. The Lumeria is a representation of the feminine aspects, the aspects that are more creative, the intuitive, the intuition, the creative aspects, the more spiritual side. So you get the more action-oriented side, which is the masculine, and then you get the feminine, which is the more spiritual, creative, intuitive side. Okay? So, that's 2 aspects of you. That's 2 aspects of everything. This is the law of gender. It is also the law of polarity, okay? But I'm going to focus more on the law of gender. Now, you had Lumeria, which is said to be very in touch to their intuitive nature, their consciousness. And then you had Atlantis, which was like all technological advance and had all this technology. That's because one was in the masculine energy, Atlantis. Lumeria was in the feminine spiritual energy. The more conscious, the more not conscious, but the more intuitive spiritual side. Okay? When in the Bible and they talk about the 2 rivers in the beginning in Genesis, they're talking about the brighter light and the lesser light. It's the same representations. Adam and Eve, also the same representation. Okay? Now, the middle way, the middle path to the heart. That is the Christ path or the Buddha path, the enlightened one. That is when you integrate, you merge both energies. It's the child, the innocence, the inner child. Because when you come into this realm, when you come into life, you are innocent. It is not until you go through the process of I don't know what you want to call it, but you have to first gain the dense energies to be rooted in. And then it's essentially you're going back. You start off in more masculine energy, then you start off in feminine energy, in the middle, and then you create the left side so that you can play with the right side, and then they merge. When you're reborn, it is the integration of both energies. Scientists talk about the planet being one land back in ancient days, Pangea. There is 7 continents. There is how many chakras in the human body? 7 chakras. You think that's a coincidence? Oh, it is not a coincidence. What happens is this is what I download on God, and I don't know how it may change as it evolve and as it expand, but when we divided, the planet shook and divided. So Pangea, we were connected in oneness in that time, and then we went through a cycle of divide, right? Where 2 became 3. And because now what's happening is, look at the, all right, I'll just give you another download. The United States. States of what? What is a state? Why they name them states? Why is Maine called Maine? Mainland? All right, so what's going to take place is we are becoming united. It's happening here where the masculine and feminine, the bride and the bridegroom, they merge, become one, right? And now what's going to happen is the state of consciousness is going to turn into unity consciousness and united. Get it? United States. So that's why you saw a lot of the settlers, you're told that they came over here on ships and stuff like that. Well, that's because the intellectual, it's a representation. It's showing you what's happening in the cosmos has to happen down here. So what is happening is they came over and they went to the other side, the hemisphere. You get it? So that's what's taking place. Everything has to mirror what is happening within, mirrors without. What is happening in the macro mirrors in the micro. So the inner child now, the innocence, the Christos, what is happening is now you guys are merging, well, we are merging the right and the left to the center. The center path is the path to enlightenment, where the heart becomes light. The Christos heart. You also have 2 sides of your heart. And if you look in tarot cards, you notice how the 3 of swords, right? So what is happening is we are becoming enlightened. We are going back to our true self. We are being reborn again. It happens on an individual level. It happens on our own. We can only do that to ourselves. We cannot force or make anybody else become awakened. Regardless of how much truth you tell somebody, they may hear it, but they won't receive it. Because you have to receive it in your own time. That's why in the Bible it says, do not preach unless you become an annoying symbol to the ear. Because they're not going to receive it, even if you tell them. I know from my own experience, I've heard a lot of truth. But then I haven't received it. And here is also a warning about that. Because what is happening is there is so much people in the spiritual community who receive downloads, and they're getting downloads. But here is the problem. The filter that they're filtering it through is the perception of division, the perception of separation. So then they're going to teach you things like of fallen angels and evil and demons and alien races and all that stuff. And I've been there. So I'm not like slamming on nobody because it's a part of the process. But I'm telling you, the truth is oneness, unity. It is integration of both aspects of you and allowing the inner child, the innocent being that you are, reign free in your life. Remember, we are stronger together. United, we become whole. I hope this message sets you free and liberates your soul. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Namaste.